Hello everyone, I'm Killjoy641 and we are going to be going over the basic understanding of Post Scriptum. I'm doing this because from April 23rd to the 26th, there's going to be a free-to-play weekend for everyone to jump in and play. During this free weekend, there is also a major update for the game that involves the D-Day airborne drops the night before and landings at Utah Beach. This all comes for free. No DLC required at all when you buy the game. The game is going to be 20% off from the 23rd of April till the 27th. I highly suggest you get it at a discount. It is way worth the money. I think it's normally $40 on Steam, 20% off. You can do the math. So even if you're watching after the free weekend is done and the sale is over, it's still a good chance to watch this video and understand the game before jumping in after you've bought it, or if you're just still really curious about the game. So everyone that's watching this, some of you may want to know, what is Post Scriptum? Post Scriptum is a World War II simulation game focusing on historical accuracy and on large-scale battles across World War II. It has a learning curve that is pretty steep, an intense need for cohesion, communication, and teamwork. Now, as for the community of the game, it is small, but it's ever growing daily. Most people are friendly, but there are some toxic players like in every online game you play. If you ever have a bad experience with a server you join or a section, or in modern terms, your squad, I highly suggest finding a different section to play with on a server or find a whole different server in general. It happens. I've come across maybe not even a handful on the 200 and some odd hours that I have on the game, and I just leave. There's no reason to be able to try to deal with it and put up with it. You don't want to be stressed when you're trying to have fun and learn a new game and learn new things with the game, because there are a lot of different things that you can do with the game. So before I show you how to join a server, picking your faction, selecting whatever kit that you want, how to spawn in, what you need to know immediately when you first start in, I'm going to be talking about the game modes that you will see when you're playing the game. So the very first game mode is offensive. One team is starting from its main base, and it has to conquer all the defender flags to the last one, or until the tickets of each team are depleted. So if the attackers can't cap all the flags, they can deplete all their tickets, which are respawns. If you were to lose all your respawns for your whole team, you lose. If you were to run out of time, you would lose again. The defending team can run out of respawns, or in this game they call them tickets, and if they can hold them without running out of tickets and let the time allotted and the time is all gone, then you as the defending team will win. Pretty simple. The next game mode is Advance and Secure. The two sides spawn at their main base, and all the other flags on the map are neutral, waiting to be captured. The biggest thing on this is you have to go in order from your spawn, closest to farthest. But that won't stop other team members and squad mates going to other points to get ready to cap it quickly before the other enemies get there. Random Advance and Secure. It's the same thing as Advance and Secure, or AAS, but the random points on the map. They're not special logical orders. You will only see one point until you cap it. Once capped, you'll move on to the next point, and then once you meet the enemy team, and it'll say, hey, this point you have to attack, and you'll have your defend point like normal. Both with Advance and Secure and Random Advance and Secure, you have a defend point that you have to protect and a point that you have to attack. So it gets very hectic very quickly when a couple squads are trying to defend the point that you already have capped from the enemy that's trying to attack you, and then having your other team try to attack the objective that they are defending. It gets kind of crazy. It's a lot of fun. So now you know the game modes you were playing. Now it's time to show you how to get playing. Alright, so before I show you guys how to play online and join servers and such, I highly suggest you do training. If you have the moment to jump in and just check everything out, highly suggest it. It is worthwhile. It's pretty simple. It just explains things on boards. You can try out different weapons from all the factions in the game. It's quite a blast. And this screen will probably change when you start on Post Scriptum, because this is actually for Chapter 2. I don't have Chapter 3 yet. I wish, that'd be really cool. But anyways, let's get started. So you're going to hit online play, and all these maps and servers will show up. And like I said, this is like 4 o'clock in the morning. Not a lot of people are on. So you'll just have to jump in and join. So you just click on one. I am just going to join one of the smaller servers. This +10 and this +2 that you see here, that is actually 10 people in queue waiting for spots to open up. Same thing with that. There's 2. This game has a queue system, so it's kind of nice. There's also reserve spots, so if you're an admin on the server, or if you are part of their clan and you donate a lot of money to keep the server running, they might give you special reserve spots. It just depends. So anyways, I'm going to join this one, and I'll show you guys how to pick factions and joining sections, and talk about some voice chat and mic talk. Alright, so when you join a game, this is what you're going to be shown as. Press enter to select spawn. And you actually get to choose your faction first. Left side is always the Axis, right side is always the Allies. For the Axis, it always shows the divisions, and then the right side is the divisions and whatever allies are in this. So we have the Polish Brigade, or it could be the British, the US 82nd Airborne, or the 101st. Can't remember what they've said, what is going to be shown for the Utah Beach one for the divisions. I can't think off the top of my head, but that's how it normally is. It normally auto balances you to whatever side has the least amount of people. And so we're just going to pick the Polish Brigade. Join section. So as you can tell, this is a lot to take in. There are arrows on the map, there's markings, there are flags, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm going to break it down. Left side is what's going to be mainly important to you to be able to join sections, or squads in modern term. Infantry sections, you're going to be able to join whatever sections are under this. For logistics sections, I highly suggest not to, just because it is a steep learning curve to joining and learning those things. Same thing with armored. With this 1-to-1 for logistics and armored, that shows that there can only be one squad. Infantry sections, you can have as many as you need. So to be able to join a section, all you have to do is click join. Or if you're feeling up to it, which like I said, I highly suggest new players not to do this, you can create. If you've played Squad and Project Reality, you might have a decent idea on what to do. So I would say give it a shot. Currently we're playing offensive on Drio, as you can tell in the top left hand corner. And that is the game mode where there's attackers and defenders. Attackers go from one side and attack and cap these objectives. Defenders try to hold them as long as they can, try to waste the enemy tickets and also the time. What you're seeing here before I join sections is a time down, and this is only to offensive. Offensive allows you to get your defenders together and be able to spawn on whatever cap that needs to be defended. So they have roughly 30 seconds to get their men ready and get ready for an oncoming barrage of enemies pouring out from the bridge. These blue dots, as you see, will change when you join certain squads. They are actually your allies. You cannot see any enemies on the map. Only squad leads and your commander can mark enemies on the map, and it's a stationary object on the map you can't actually see. Another important thing to note for the offensive game mode is these right here, these blue spawn trucks right here. If you're new, I highly suggest do not get in these trucks unless you're asked to do so and to be on the transport truck. They allow your team to spawn, and they have only a certain area where they can go in, and they would be shown. They call it MSP, or mobile spawn truck or point. These flags that you see here allow you to spawn there, or you can click on the top right hand corner for available spawns and it will show you, and they'll actually highlight, as you can tell. When you join a squad or section in old terms, I will join able and show you guys a little bit. So when you join a squad, first thing you need to do is, once the comms are clear, and say with default of B to be able to talk to your section, you have to say, squad lead, just to let you know I'm new, I have no idea what I'm doing, this is my first game. And they'll understand. Trust me, they will definitely understand. So now you can see the map has changed. There's yellow arrows. These are the squad, these are the team members that your squad, that you're part of. These are your squad members that you work next to. There's a guy all the way up here by the water. Squad members by the defend point that we gotta defend. So like I said, they will understand that you're new. They won't give any crap. They'd be more than willing to help you. And biggest thing is you got to follow your squad lead and stick with your section. You can't just lone wolf. You can't just run around and think that you're going to take the whole enemy army on. It's not possible. So once you've done and told your squad lead that you're new, you're going to be able to pick a loadout. So you're going to go over here to the left side of the screen and hit loadout. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you join a full game already or a game in progress, there's only going to be 2 things available to you, the rifleman and medic. I highly suggest new players to do both of them. So when you select loadout, you have the option to be a medic or rifleman. When people leave the squad or change something else, you can pick whatever else you may be. They just are not available. Right now, we are just going to pick rifleman. It's active. And then we're going to pick a spawn point. And then I try to get to the closest to the action as you can. So I'm going to click this. It's always a good idea when joining a game to be able to ask your squad lead, hey, you know, where do you want me to spawn in? Once you've selected your spawn point and you've asked your squad lead where you want them to spawn in at, all you got to do is go to the right side and hit confirm. And now you're in the game. Alright guys, so I've actually left that server and joined a private one that I'm going to be showcasing the rifleman off and showing the equipment and some basic game mechanics that I think are really important for everyone to know when they first get into the game. So people that have played PC games, first-person shooters, a lot of these controls will be very familiar to you. Right click to aim, left click to fire. Such a great sound, I love the ping. Hold down shift to run, WASD to move, control to crouch, Z to prone, and you're also able to lean with Q and E, which is really nice. And of course, R to reload. And like I said before, B is to talk to your squad lead or section. And if you're in local, if you're trying to talk to people next to you, local or proximity chat, you actually hold down V and you can see bottom left hand corner I'm using local, and it tells me that I'm actually talking to people. So with your rifle, there are multiple things that you can do with it, and I absolutely love this. I'm going to show you guys that you can range your weapon if you hold down X and scroll wheel, and these are all defaults. You're able to zoom in also with shift. It gives you a zoom in. Different weapons have different zooms. Thompson's, all the SMGs have a slightly less zoom than rifles. When you're aiming down a scoped weapon, like a sniper rifle, you actually hold your breath instead of just getting a zoom in bonus. But when you range, you're able to go out for how far whatever target is. That's gonna shoot way over. But I would say that's roughly 200 meters. And if you were to go to the training area, they actually have areas where it shows you like 200 meters and you can sit there and practice if you wanted to. It's not only that, if you are in a predicament and you need to reload but you're out of ammo, you have nothing, and you're about to run into this house dealing with enemies, you can actually attach a bayonet to your gun. by pressing C. And you were able to, I believe the default was caps lock, and you are able to go in and stab as many enemies as you can. It's actually a blast. You can actually bonsai charge if need be. If you hold down caps lock, you can, or hold down caps lock, and while you run and shift, you can actually jump in and run. It's really, really cool. Such a cool mechanic. Love it. So with that being said, if you have a bayonet to your gun, your aim actually differs when actually aiming your rifle because the end of the gun is heavier. So your gun might be a little swayed here and there. So keep that in mind when you're trying to shoot far away targets. And you would just hit C to unequip it. So another cool mechanic I love about this game is when you get close to cover, so say this wall, and you aim down sights, if you look on the bottom right hand corner where it tells you how far you're ranged at, how many mags you have left, and what type of action fire you're at, firing mode, it actually shows a bipod down there. And you're like, well, wait a minute, the M1 Garand does not have a bipod at all. Why is it showing that? Well, when you get up close to walls, it actually weapon rests your gun on whatever edge you're next, even if you're next to trees. But trees won't give you all that kind of same stability compared to the wall. So you can see my aim is dead center. You do not get any better of a shot than this. You still have to compensate for the recoil just a little bit, but if I were to stand up, my aim's just a little bit off. So another thing you have to be cautious in this game is your stamina. You actually have energy to burn off, and you have to be very, very careful with it because if you are running around trying to get to point to cap or hold off from the enemies or recap this point, or if you're trying to run up to an objective or disarm a bomb, whatever it may be, you are going to be running a lot in this game. There are transport trucks to get you around, but you're going to run out of stamina and you're going to be in a lot of trouble because you actually won't be able to zoom down your weapon to a certain point. You will lose that bonus because you'll be out of energy, and your also aim will be all over the place. It actually helps that you crouch. See, as you can tell, my aim is all over the place. Not a good time at all whatsoever, especially if you're trying to hit far away targets up to those trees. So there's a couple ways to be able to regain it. You can hit crouch, which is control, or you can go prone and you'll regain your stamina back. But there's also another way to show you, and that brings me to my next thing. Right now, I'm going to show you guys the equipment that you start off with being the rifleman, and I will let you know what the difference is between that and being the medic. So with the rifleman, you get your standard issued rifle. If you're the British and Polish, you get the Lee Enfield. Germans get the Kar 98K. US get the M1 Garand, or you can choose the Springfield if you wanted, but you don't have to. Your other equipment, you get your pistol, just a few mags for it. Nice in tight situations like clearing houses and stuff, because when you come up to walls, this actually gets in the way, so you actually have to keep your distance away because it'll actually put your gun down. It's kind of cool. You have frag grenades, which you are able to throw. And you got to be careful the blast radius on this because they go out pretty far because it shoots out shrapnel and the server actually adjusts for it. Pretty cool. You also have to be careful because they are physics based once you throw them and they hit the ground. So if you throw it up a hill, be ready for it to roll back. And there's also another mode that you can use with the grenades. You can actually hit right click and you actually underhand throw. This is great for, say, clearing houses. So now with the smoke grenade, this is where things get a little bit different compared to the other factions. The US have their smoke grenades like normal. Any other game, they're just regular smoke grenades, and they'll eventually build up and you'll be able to run from cover to cover if need be, if you had to. But with the British and Polish, and I believe the Germans, they have white phosphorus. So when you throw this grenade, wherever it hits, it will impact. It'd be right there, and it will actually shoot out white phosphorus. So now, after your grenades, you got your field dressing, which, like I said, I will go over the healing process because it's a little bit different than most games. You got your morphine. You also have an entrenching tool, which helps build things up. And I'll explain and show you that here. The rifleman has an ammo bag, well, ammo box that has a one-time use, and it's gone and it's done for. I mean, I can go here and resupply, and I'll get my grenades back. Also forgot to mention for the smoke grenade, you can underhand it throw too, which is really nice. And no, once you do your ammo box, you can't refill your ammo box again. So, you get this handy-dandy camera that you can actually take pictures with, and this is actually saved into wherever you have the game saved at. And you can left-click, it takes pictures, hit R to reload to be able to take another picture, and it's actually black and white and grainy. It's kind of cool. I haven't taken really any cool pictures with this, but it's nice. So last but not least, we have the sandbags that you're able to put down wherever, almost. Right now it shows red. You can't put them down because of the hill, the incline on the hill, but you are able to put them here. If they're green, it's good to sit down. You just hit left click. But when you put them down, these aren't actually build up. And you're like, well, what the hell? What do I do? Well, you actually have to pull out your entrenching tool. It is actually a pickaxe on the Polish and British sides, and I think a shovel for the Germans. And you just hold left click and it'll bring this up, as so. This is a nice little bunker, sand bunker that you get, and you know, an MG can sit here, cover this corner of the field. You can actually lay down and use it to weapon rest your gun if you had to, that sort of thing. It's kind of nice. With that being said, you got this canteen here, and that goes back to what I was talking about with stamina. When you run, you will lose it, and you can gain it back by crouching and resting, or being prone and resting. But another quick and easy way to do it is to drink your canteen. And see? And it gains back like twice as fast. And then you're good to go. So you have to be wary on your canteen use because you only have up to 7 drinks. And once you're gone, it's empty and you can't refill it unless you go to ammo box or die, I believe. And also, if the effects will wear off eventually. Sometimes it takes a while depending on how many drinks you've taken. If you take a couple, it's going to take longer for it to go away, to be able to go down back to normal stamina. So keep that in mind. If you're rushing and you're trying to get to this point, it's a good idea just to take a couple swigs and go in and not have to worry about losing your stamina at all. Alright, so I'm going to show you a couple little short clips on being the medic. There's really no difference between the medic and the rifleman. Just the medic gets more bandages and more morphines, and you don't get sandbags and you don't get the camera. So you are running the medic role. You guys are healing people, getting people back up into the fight, because it sometimes does come down to that kind of a wire.
I just remember, man, the sun shines underneath all that artillery fire, so don't worry about it.
Alright, so I stopped this clip here to show you what you need to be looking for when you are running as medic, or even rifleman or any other class, because each kit can get anybody up. That blood symbol that you see in the center of the screen means that your friendly is down. He has not given up, he has not died, but he is incapacitated, but he can be revived. And the way to be able to do that is give him morphine. Once he's up, he can either bandage himself, or you can bandage him up to full health if you're a medic. As you can see here, I've stopped the clip again to be able to show you his state that he is alive, but he is in trauma and he needs to be able to be full back to health. And all you have to do is hold down left click and you will apply the bandage to your friend. Now, with that being said, when you are healing yourself, all you have to do is right click, and you cannot apply morphine to yourself, only friendlies. Alright, well, that wraps everything up for this beginner's guide for Post Scriptum. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below on what I could have done better or worse or anything else in general, or what kind of games you want me to play. I'm going to be live streaming the new update when it comes out on Thursday. It'll be late at night because I'm just a night owl. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you later.